Okay, hello friends. I hope you all are doing wonderful whenever you're watching this. As requested, I'm going to make a little Canvas tutorial and cover some of the things we talked about in class, like the Ally Accessibility tool, alt text, making module pages, the design tool, all of that good stuff. So you'll have this for reference as you are building your pages. Again, you are going to be getting a complete Canvas shell that you will get to personalize and customize. Um, so please don't feel too much pressure because a lot of that work will be done, but I still hope this video is a helpful supplemental tool. All right, so let's get started. I think the most helpful place to start is by looking at creating a module page or just a page. So we'll go into this one. If you want to create a module, you'll go to create module, give it a name. Let me move the bar, add module. And it won't be published yet. To publish, you'll have to click that. And you have the option to publish the module and all the items in it, or just the module. To add an item to that module, you'll click that plus sign as I just did. If you want to create a new page, you'll go to that, create page, give it a name, and then it will show up there. And for this, I really recommend spending time developing one page that you really like. So then that's going to be your template page, and you can make a copy of that page and then just substitute different resources and PowerPoints. So on the page, this is essentially like if you look at our course, every single one of these that has that paper icon is a page. So this is what like my completed page looks like. And how I made the course thematically similar is I spent a lot of time building this page and put overview, assignments, PowerPoint, additional resources, and then I duplicated it and switched out the header and then switched out the words in the overview and changed the links. So again, like that is the idea of how to use that page feature. Then you'd go to edit and you'll get to start building this page. And the way to add those like fancy icons and stuff is to go to this. So you can open the sidebar, you can press it here, it doesn't really matter. It will give you a tutorial. But yeah, you can look at templates, headers, all of these things. And in Canvas, it really shows you how to use it as well if you click on this bar rather than just going to the spaceship. This will be more like a tutorial based thing. So here you can go to theme, and this will put in a banner. There's different types of themes like that, and you can really customize it based to what works best for you. Can minimize that. 2024 themes. Okay. Colorful waves. It also gives you a preview of the theme before you click down. So this is the preview, and then that's clicking down to add it. So you can really choose whatever theme is best for you. And then once you have that, again, you can start customizing things like putting a heading here. We'll change that. Again, new heading, that type of vibe. Then make sure you save your work every time you start working on a page. So that's what this looks like right now. If I wanted to like change those header names, I would go here, change, and change that there. Wonderful. So then if you go back to the module page, it's still going to be called name one. If you wanted to change what that's called, you'd go back to edit and page title. So let's change it to my name. And there you have it. If you go to the pages section, it will be there, right there. And if you go to modules, it will show up as Rhea non-body. So that's really how you use that tool. It really is a lot of playing around with things once you have that design editor open. But again, remember you are getting a built canvas shell, so the customization is really whatever you want to make of it. Something that I do want to show you as well is how to add a header. So like this, let me pull one up in Canva. These are how I made all of our Canvas page headers like this. So let's just download this first one right there. It really doesn't matter how you download it. PNG works, JPEG works. I always just did PNG. Let's just do the first one. Download that. We're gonna go back to Canvas, edit. And so whenever like in your template you have like spaces for pictures, you can add them, or you can literally just make spaces and it will pop up like that. And you can drag and drop it right in there. Perfect. And now that's going to show up. What's really important is making sure that we have alt text for any headers that you add in because that's going to impact the accessibility score. So you clicked image options after clicking on the image, and I would say background header with blue and orange circles of various sizes on top. There you go. And because I already had checked the color contrast in Canva, this will make that have a perfect accessibility score, which you should be able to check once the image uploads properly by hovering over it. There should be a little button here that shows you the accessibility score. It just needs some time to populate. The main place you go to check your accessibility score for your Canvas is on the sidebar. You'll go to Instructor Tools, and then you'll go to Ally Accessibility Report, and a new tab will open that will read your Canvas page accessibility. So our Canvas page is a 99% accessibility, and it tells you where to start by fixing it. On the overview, you can also go to Content and find the individual things that need to be updated. Um, and again, you should be aiming for a very high score. Anything higher than 85 has been approved by like other professors at UF, but the higher the better. Looking for that 90 to 100 range, that's perfect. Okay, in terms of other things, while we are on the topic of accessibility, I'll show you how to check in Canva that your design is accessible. So if you navigate to Canva and go to File, you can go to Accessibility, check Design Accessibility, and it tells you if there are any color contrast issues or typography issues, so like unreadable font, etc. Don't worry about alt text because you'll do that in Canvas after you've downloaded the image. Wonderful. Okay, other things to share. I'm going to go into student view. So on all of our, oh, and here again, it populated accessibility score is perfect because I have that alt text and there's no color contrast issues. Everyone will have the view as student button. This is helpful because it shows you what you can and can't see as a student account. So this will be everything that's published, so you can make sure that things look right from your student's perspective on their Canvas because this is what they see when they log into Canvas. Okay, I don't want to show everyone's grades, but I want to talk about grading, so I'm going to pause the recording for a second as I navigate to test student. Okay, awesome. So now I can show you a little bit about grading and speed grading. Test student is always not going to obviously submit assignments, but when you go to the grade book at the very bottom of all of your actual students, it will say test student. And this just allows you again to practice like grading, put things in. It's for demonstrations like this one. There's not really anything you need to use test student for, except like practicing grading and commenting and just again, like what the grade book looks like from the student view. So I navigated there so I can give you demonstrations. And again, that's just going to be in the grade book at the very bottom. The last student will say test student. So let's say I want to grade the Clifton Strengths Assessment. Here you'll have all of your students' names and you can click through them as you grade them. So this is something called Speed Grader. And again, it's just going to bring you to something like this. It's going to have the grade and a place for commenting, and then you can click the arrows to go back to the previous student or the next student, which can make grading quicker. So I'll give them a 10 out of 10. I'll say, great work on this assignment. Submit the comment, they get that comment. Something important to note is with status. So if, let's say, your student communicates with you that they'll be absent and it was an attendance-based assignment, then you can press excused if they had an excused absence for that event. Let's say that it's late. So automatically, if your student turns in something late, Canvas will have that status say late. And if you grade it, it's going to deduct late points. So the way to get around that is to change the status to none, because again, it automatically populates with late if they submit the assignment late. And let's say you had already approved an extension, it's still going to show up like that. So to avoid Canvas automatically assigning late points, you would just change that status back to none. Okay, awesome. Let's see if there's other things that we can go over. We did grading. I can show you attendance, announcements, publishing, showed you that, student view. Okay, let's talk about linking things. So if you go to any page and go to edit, and let's say we want to add something here. You highlight it and press insert and go to link. It'll give you an option for an external link. So if you have like any, like these are past things that I've externally linked to our Canvas page. So this is something for like student involvement. That's going to take you to that website, which is outside of our Canvas course. If you want to have, like, if you look at, I want to save that so I don't have to. If you look at any of our published modules that I created, let's go to growth mindset. You'll see that there's a link to the Clifton Strengths Assessment assignment, which is something that's in our course, and that's an internal link. And the way that that works, like if you click on it, it takes you to the assignment. And the way that you do that is by going back and doing the same thing, highlighting it, insert link, and it will be like internal link. Here, we'll just do that for a demonstration purpose. So insert link, course link, and then you'll go to assignments and you'll find the Clifton Strengths Assessment and link it like that. And that will give you your like direct link on the module page to the assignment, which can be helpful for your students so they have everything in one place for that week. For attendance, you would just click on the attendance tab. And I don't know why this happens, but you're always going to click on this second one and all of your students will populate and you can mark all present, unmark all, whatever is best for you if you want to go through each and take, or just mark all present and then unmark the ones who are not in class that day. Okay, that's all good. I think that's everything that I wanted to cover in this Canvas lesson. If there's anything else that I can help with, please just contact me and I would be happy to make another video. I would be happy to do whatever y'all need. Good luck. And please, please, please reach out with any questions. Y'all are rock stars, gold star energy for all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day.